Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of documenting my journey from earning $0 a month all the way to $10,000 and hopefully beyond. I've got my laptop in front of me with notes. I'm doing this all in one take, so it's going to be the most raw, authentic video possible. If I do pause for a second to look at my notes, I hope you can understand why. These videos are not made for views. They are made so that in the future, people can look back and say, okay, Callum, how did you do it? Watch these videos and I will be able to show you exactly how I did it. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, the second video, you've seen the first, but if you haven't, if you're just discovering me now, go back, watch the first episode and work your way through the series because it's just going to be much, simpler to follow. Today, I'm going to be talking about all of the changes you need to make to become the successful version of yourself that you want to be one day. So to try and make this as relatable as possible, I'm going to be talking about my past, my younger self, 15-year-old self, 18-year-old self, and who I am today, which by the way, I'm 21 years old. The whole journey of entrepreneurship, if that's the path you want to go down, and I hope that if you're watching this video, it's because you are an entrepreneur or you want to become an entrepreneur one day. The whole process of being an entrepreneur is initially hard because you have no idea how you're going to do it. Isolating because all of your friends, they don't believe in you, they laugh at you, they make fun of you, they talk shit about you behind your back. That's just part of it. And to put things bluntly, you've evolved past those friends and you're ready to find new friends in the world. It's also just difficult to convince the people that you deeply care about that you're going to do what you think you can do because you've got this vision in your mind of what's possible. You know what's possible. You're willing to dedicate your whole life towards achieving your goals. I don't know what they are. Obviously, I have my goals. I won't be sharing them here on this video. But whatever those goals are, it's so difficult to convince your parents, especially when you're young and you're still living at home. It's so hard to convince your parents that what you want to do is possible and realistic. It's hard to, again, convince your friends, your close friends, your brothers, your sisters, your girlfriends, people at your work, people in your life. It's difficult to convince them that you're going to do the things you say you're going to do. And the only way to prove them wrong is to just bet on yourself, go out there, take action. It might take a year, it might take 2, it might take 5 years before you get to where you envisioned yourself going. But I promise you, if you start now and you keep going and you don't give up, you will get there, and you won't just get there, you'll get there and want to keep going. And you'll be a completely different person, I can promise that. I know I am a completely different person compared to the 18-year-old version of Callum, which was only 3 years ago, and it feels like these 3 years have just gone so fast. I wish it was simple to wake up one day, like say I watched a motivational video and I saw it saying, be an entrepreneur because you have time freedom and location freedom and financial freedom. Like, that's great. And from around the age of 18, 19 onwards, that's the path I wanted to go down, the path of entrepreneurship. But it was so hard for me to break the habit of being my old self. And so what do I mean by this? 15-year-old Callum was chronically addicted to Snapchat. He was on there responding to people all day long, from when he woke up in the morning to when he was supposed to be studying at school, to after school on the bus home, when he got home, when he was supposed to be doing homework, when he was on his way to soccer training, when he was on his way home from soccer training, before bed, he was always on Snapchat. He was also watching porn way too much. He was playing video games. He was on the Fortnite grind. He was playing FIFA, Call of Duty. And even if he wasn't playing any of those games, he was watching YouTube videos about people playing Fortnite, FIFA, and Call of Duty. He was playing Clash of Clans on his phone, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars. I'm sure if you're my age, 21 years old, I'm born in 2003, I'm sure if you're my age, you can relate to this somehow. Now, all of these things were done in the same bedroom as I was currently living in when I was 21. They were done in the same house, with the same people around me, the same friend group, etc. And then when I turned 18, 18-year-old Callum was, well, he was doing anything to try and get a girl. I remember there was this period of time where I would wake up and the first thing I would do is grab my phone and check Tinder, because I was like, oh, I wonder like what girls I've matched with, what messages they sent me. And then what I would do is if I'd matched with girls while I was asleep, I would look at their profile and think of the perfect response. Or if they messaged me, I would take some time and think about the perfect response. And I didn't want to send that response message to them at like 5, 6, 7 a.m. when I woke up. So I would think about it all day. And then eventually once it turned like 3 or 4 p.m, I'd then send the message and then I would take things from there. But bro, I was just spending way too much time on girls trying to get laid. I was also Snapchatting these girls. So once I sent them a message on Tinder, I would try and get their Snapchat. And once I got them onto Snapchat, I would start Snapchatting them. Plus I would have Snapchat, so I'd still be Snapchatting all of my friends, all of the boys, people that I would, normally be talking to when I was that 15-year-old Callum. I was doing all of that, plus all of these new girls from Tinder on top of that. I was going out, I'll put some videos on screen. I was going out every Saturday night, hitting the clubs, getting drunk, hooking up with girls, having fun with all my friends. And at the time, yes, it was fucking awesome getting drunk, hooking up with girls. I think every 18-year-old has to go through that phase of just going out, and eventually you do get that out of your system. Some people don't, and well, honestly, I just feel sorry for them because that's a miserable life to live. Anyway, 18-year-old Callum was enjoying all of the things that an 18-year-old would, and he was still doing that in the same bedroom as he was when he was 15, in the same house he was when he was 15, around the same people he was when he was 15. And then it was kind of when I was 19, 18 and a half, 19 years old, 19 and a half years old when I was like, nah, fuck this. I was studying chemical engineering at uni. So I got a really good ATAR, which is like a year 12 end of high school score. I could have done basically any degree I wanted. I chose to go into engineering because I liked chemistry, I liked math, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to do this in 4 years, 5 years when I finish my degree. I will be making over $100,000. Life will be good. Well, I can tell you that within a year of studying the degree, I didn't love it. It wasn't that it was too difficult or anything. It was hard, don't get me wrong, but I love a challenge and I love to do hard things and make it work. But I just didn't have that same motivation I previously had when hard things presented themselves in their lives. I knew there was something more for me, something greater for me out there. And so that was probably one of my hardest ever decisions, dropping out of my degree, disappointing my parents. All of my friends I'd made at uni, all of my friends from high school, they were all talking shit about me because as soon as I dropped out of uni, I posted my first YouTube video, which was so cringe, but here we are like 2 and a bit years later, zero regrets. But back then it was tough, and mentally I questioned myself a lot. But we're here, we've moved on, life's very different. I'm living on the Gold Coast, living with boys that I love, potentially moving in with multiple entrepreneurs in the future. I will definitely keep you tuned on that. And that's actually what I guess wanted to get into. So if you want to live the life I'm living, the digital nomad lifestyle, be an entrepreneur, make money online, do basically within reason, do anything you want, like throughout your life. Go on holiday here, do this, do that, have this experience. If you want to live that life, which I don't even know if I want to live that life. I haven't got to that level yet. And probably when I do get to that level, I'll be like, okay, this is boring. What's the next thing? But if that's the life you want to live, and I'm talking about, you know, the life of someone like Iman Gadzhi, Luke Belmar, basically any influencer you see online, whoever you aspire to be like or want to be like, that's the dream that I want you to think about. If you want to get there by creating value, by being an entrepreneur, by making money online, these are kind of all of the sacrifices or changes that you have to make. And I genuinely think that all of these steps can help you reinvent yourself, change your life, and like completely change the trajectory of where you were maybe previously on, and change it to a new path of, I guess, success and entrepreneurship. Let me get into it. So, step 1. Move out of your hometown. Don't be your mummy's little boy anymore. Don't let her cook your food or do your washing or any of that. You have to get out of your hometown. So I grew up in Adelaide, South Australia. I've now moved to the Gold Coast, and everything that I've been, I guess, exposed to over my first 21 years of life is gone. So all of the places, all of the memories from those places, all of the friends, all of those memories from those friends is all but gone. You know, obviously I still reminisce about the old times, and look, I had a lot of fun when I was younger, but I know that that group of people and those places and all of that wasn't going to help me get from where I was to where I want to be. And I understand that not everyone will get to the top level of entrepreneurship, but you're watching this video now because you want to get there. And I guarantee you, you can if you implement all of these changes I'm going to go through. And by the way, I didn't implement all of these changes at once. It was gradual. Probably over the course of 2 years, I have implemented all of these things into my life, but I did notice that most of them actually changed when I moved out of my hometown and moved to the Gold Coast. So even if you've grown up on the Gold Coast, I would still recommend getting out of your hometown. Move to Sydney, move to Bali, move to Europe if you have a passport. I don't know, but just get away from your friends, your high school friends, your family. As much as I love my family, you just have to get away from them, become your own person, and go chase your dreams on your own. And I guess that brings me on to the next point. It's kind of a bit further down on here, but you have to surround yourself with boys who have the same goals and visions you do. Well, maybe not the same, but similar. So as of the moment, it's almost the end of September 2025, and potentially November 1st, I'll be moving in with a couple boys who are entrepreneurs, making, I don't know how much they make. I'm going to say it's between 10 and 30,000 US a month. I'm potentially going to be moving in with these boys. I don't really need to explain why that's a good idea, but these guys are hopefully the future versions of what I'm going to be in terms of revenue. So I've been hanging out with them a few times, and we've just been talking about really, I guess, like normal people would say cringe things. Like, what music do you listen to when you study? And he was like, I use this app. And I'm like, no way, I use that app. And we're talking about terminology like ICP, ROAS, SOPs, like stuff like that. And it's so nice to actually realize that there are guys out there in the world who are like you. And it's so hard to find them in your hometown. But I promise you, if you move out of your hometown and start doing things to find these people, you will attract them into your life, and they can help you level up so much faster than if you were on your own. So that's the next thing. Move out of your hometown and try and move in with boys or girls that are on a very similar path to you, have gone through the same things you have, etc. So for me, this didn't happen straight away. Like I've moved out of Adelaide 5-6 months ago, and for the first few months I was living in like flat shares with 50-60-year-old people, and it was not fun. Trust me, it was not fun. I really, really hope I never have to do that again. But now obviously I'm in the position I am where I I can potentially be moving in with these entrepreneurs, and I think it's just going to do so much for my motivation in terms of creating content, for my belief in charging what I charge for my service. I think it's honestly going to be one of, if I'm looking back in my life, I think it's going to be one of the biggest, I guess, factors or pivots that's helped me get to where I want to get to, is moving in with the right boys. And I know if I stayed in Adelaide and waited for the perfect time to move to the Gold Coast, the perfect time never ever would have happened. So you just have to bite the bullet, get out there and do it. A few other things I've, I guess, picked up. One of the first changes I made was deleting Snapchat and Tinder. Now, on this whole journey, it's difficult because I'm a guy, I'm 21 years old, women are beautiful, and especially on the Gold Coast, there are lots and lots of beautiful women around. However, you have to stay focused on your mission. And look, since I've moved up here, I have re-downloaded Tinder a few times, only for a week or two, just to see what the talent is like out there. And let me tell you, on the Gold Coast, the talent is wild. But you can have your fun from time to time, like summer of 2025, December, January, I plan to just, I guess, bring the business down a notch, have a bit more fun, go out drinking, go out clubbing, enjoy the social life associated with Gold Coast. I do plan to do that. And who knows what will happen? Will I meet my future wife? Maybe, I don't know. But one of the biggest problems or things keeping you away from actually getting to where you want to from a entrepreneurship perspective is girls. And again, I remember when I was 18, 19 years old, I would be on Snapchat talking to this girl that I just matched with on Tinder, and the conversation would be so good. Like, we'd FaceTime and I'd be flirting with her, she'd be flirting with me, and I would end up staying up until 10, 11, 12, sometimes even 1 a.m. talking to this girl, which, by the way, that is such like a turn off if you're a girl. If you're talking to a guy and he's not going to bed and he's prioritizing her over his own success and what he needs to get done, that's such a red flag. But anyway, I've just lost my train of thought. Don't get distracted by girls, is what I'm trying to say. If you can delete Snapchat, get off Snapchat as fast as possible. Delete Hinge, Tinder. Just focus on yourself. Of course, finding the right girl is going to help you move forward faster in your entrepreneurship goals, but finding that girl is tough and it can be very distracting. The other things I really wanted to talk about: stop drinking, doing drugs, smoking. If you're doing any of those three things, we'll say more than once a month, and you want to first get into entrepreneurship, you're just not going to make it. It's as simple as that, bro. Sure, of course, there are freak situations where this guy who gets shit-faced every Saturday and then locks in for the week, sure, he can do that. But in general, just stay away from the alcohol, the drugs, the girls, all of that stuff. Next problem I had was my phone. So I would always be on my phone, Instagram, Snapchat, deleted Snapchat now, but like at the moment, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, it's just other stupid stuff like my emails. So I've bricked my phone, which is basically an app that you can use to disable apps like Instagram. So most mornings I have Instagram, YouTube, my email was all disabled so that I can purely just focus on getting the work done that needs doing. And another thing that I guess is on my list here is wake up as early as possible. So I've been waking up around 5 a.m. and each morning it's been giving me 2 hours of uninterrupted, pure focus where I can just wake up and be like, okay, what's the hardest thing I need to get done? And then I go and do that for 2 hours, and I put my music in, and I get my energy drink next to me, and I just go super laser focused on that task for about 2 hours. And then I get hungry and my day starts and everyone else I'm living with starts getting up. But those 2 hours of uninterrupted peace is honestly the 2 most productive hours out of my day, out of my 24 hours. So if you can go to bed early, wake up early, and just get the work done as early as possible, it's going to give you such a mental high. You're going to, over time, over weeks and months, actually build something if you're dedicating 2-3 hours to that every single morning, rather than just waking up, reaching for your phone, like getting out of bed, hopping in the shower, starting your day at 8. Like just try waking up at 5 consistently and not worrying about anything in your life, but just worry about actually doing the work that he's doing. And I know Alex Hormozi talks about this a lot. Three other things I wanted to mention. Work on the task, not the time. So at 5 a.m. when you wake up, don't be like, I want to work on this video for 2 hours. No. I want to finish this video in 2 hours. To finish this video, I have to cut all of these things out, do subtitles, do B-roll, find the right music, and then go and do it. And actually finish the task in those 2 hours, rather than just being like, oh, I've got 2 hours, let's work on my YouTube video. That's vague, and you're not going to get anywhere doing it that way. You should also be convincing yourself you are successful. So, how do I explain this? You know when a girl posts on her Instagram and she is probably not the most beautiful girl you've ever seen, but she posts a photo, and then within half an hour of that photo being posted, there's just a cheer squad of comments. Oh my God, girl, you're gorgeous. Wow, beautiful, stunning. Right? All of those girls are hyping her up. You need to come up with your own cheer squad, whether that's like just in terms of your mental resilience, or you need to get other boys around you, but you need to come up with your own cheer squad of people that are telling you, yes, you're making it, yes, you're going to be successful, and you just need to convince yourself every single day that that is going to happen and that you are going to be successful. And you're the only person that can do that. You have to, I guess, make up your own cheer squad of success in your life. And there's a few ways you can do that. I guess the three biggest ones are watching movies. So some of my favorite movies are Limitless, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Social Network, stuff like that. Motivational stuff. And movies that you can actually resonate with and be like, you know what, I want to be like him. I want to go through the struggle and get to the reward at the end. Listening to music. I don't just mean listen to Drake, because that's all about fucking bitches and doing drugs, and bro, that's not going to help you get to where you want to go. Someone I resonate with is Jack Harlow. Half of his music is about getting bitches and doing drugs and all of that. Half of his music is about going through the struggle and how it was coming up, like being a white guy getting into rap. That's difficult, and that's the music I resonate with. I'm not saying you have to like Jack Harlow or anything like that. Find your own music that you resonate with and that you believe in, and listen to that. And lastly, YouTube videos. Influencers, people who were in the position you are now and that have gone places you want to go. Watch their videos. Go back and watch their old videos. See what they were like before they made it. And I guarantee you, if you watch the right movies, listen to the right music, watch the right YouTube videos, it will subconsciously start to reprogram you. And in next week's video, I am going to be talking about how to reprogram your mind to be successful. I'm going to be talking about the law of attraction, about meditations, visualizations, affirmations. I thought they were all bullshit until the people I looked up to started talking about it. And then I read a few books about it. And then I went, okay, you know what? This bullshit, crazy, wacky stuff might actually work. And so we're going to be diving into that all in next week's video. With all that being said, I think these first few videos in the series of videos you're going to watch are just going to lay the groundwork of like where I was when I was 15 years old, 18 years old, when I started my entrepreneurship journey at 19 and a half years old. And I just want to catch up to speed from where I was at 19 and a half years old to where I am now, being almost 22 years old. Just want to explain the background about that, all of the changes I've made, things I've done. In next week's video about the law of attraction, again, I'll be explaining a bit about that. And then I think from then onwards, it's going to be kind of just like a weekly vlog of these are my goals, these are my inputs, these are my outputs, what did work, what didn't work, the struggle of it. I know like at the moment I've got uni that I'm studying, I've got videos that I'm trying to be making, I've got clients that I'm supposed to be looking after, and then I've also got work at Nike that I'm supposed to be doing. So a normal sane person would look at my schedule and think, okay, this guy's crazy, this guy's going to burn out. Yes, maybe I will, maybe I won't, maybe I'm built for this, maybe I'm not. But yeah, I'm excited to start documenting the day in, day out processes of what it takes to get to 10K a month. With all that being said, I hope that this video has been valuable. I know talking about it has brought up a lot of feelings and thoughts about the past, and I'm excited to work on my future and my future self. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.